Hey there, Ron Douglas here with the Self Reliance Expo, and we always try to talk about some of the products that are coming out, or some of the products that are going to be at the expos, and this time I had kind of an interesting product here. I met the guy with BentGrass Concepts, and what they do is they do heating and ice packs. And at first I was kind of wondering, how that really fit in, and then I realized how many ice packs I use, like when I'm hunting, or in an emergency scenario, if people are trying to keep their insulin cold, or other medications. You're trying to preserve your meats, things like that. I found these ice packs really interesting because, one, they're super cheap, and two, you can actually reuse them. So. Anyway, the product is actually called Thermofreeze. You see it right there. And what's really cool about this is it actually came. You can see the difference here. This is like super light. You can roll this up into something really small. So like if you're motorcycling, or you just want to take a really small space, backpacks or anything like that, you can just stick them in there. And then, they come in this grid form, and so you can actually cut, you cut these into strips if you want, or you cut them into 4-pack. You can get them in all kinds of different sizes. We got these here. Now, what was really impressive is, I'm not sure what the solution is in here, but basically all you do is you soak this in water, and it'll swell up and it'll fill with water inside, and then you just stick them in your freezer. And I thought, okay, not a big deal. Well, I went to a meeting and I thought, well, I'm going to throw some of these in my truck and just see how long they last, because it was this was about a month ago, so it was summertime here in Colorado, and it was probably about 80 in the 80s. And so I threw these in the back seat of my truck. Well, I got to the meeting, completely forgot about them, and so I left them in my truck, and I was sitting at home with my kids one night, and I went, oh, I forgot those ice packs were in my truck. And I sent my boy out to grab them, and he comes back in. I told him, just put them in the sink. And I thought they'd, I didn't think nothing of them. And he said, man, those things are cold. And I was like, what? It's been 2.5 days. Why are they still cold? I was surprised that they were still cold. So I went over to the sink, and it was this pack right here. Actually, it was both of these. And they were actually still full. They still had a lot of ice in them after 2.5 days sitting in the back seat of my truck in 80-degree weather. So I was actually pretty shocked. So I can imagine how long they'll last in a cooler. And again, they're reusable. You can cut them down to the sizes you want. Even the big packs like this one, you can cut these. Again, they work great for camping, emergency scenarios, medical conditions, and you can fold them down. And here's a really big sheet that's folded. You can see how small that is. So if you're interested in having ice packs for medical, or food preservation, medicine preservation, anything like that, come on down to the Self Reliance Expo. These guys are giving us a show special at the expo, and these things are pretty doggone cheap over there. So again, we'll look forward to seeing you guys down there. You can find us online at selfrelianceexpo.com. Take care.